Attention passionate Atlanta, Falcons fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC South and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Atlanta Falcons' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Atlanta Falcons fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Atlanta, FALCONS FANS. Let's get to the news. The NFL trade deadline is always a high-stakes period. But this year, the buzz around Atlanta Falcons fans is particularly intense. Rumors have been swirling about a potential blockbuster move that could reshape the Falcons' defensive line and significantly boost their playoff push. And the name at the center of this speculation is none other than Jeffrey Simmons, the dominant defensive tackle from the Tennessee Titans. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. This is just speculation, right? But the whispers coming from league sources and trusted insiders like Diana Rossini suggest there's a real possibility that Simmons could be headed to Atlanta before the deadline hits on November 4th, 2025. Let's set the stage here. The Titans, sitting at 5-7, are clearly in a rebuild mode. They're dealing with a few key issues: an inconsistent offensive line, especially after losing players to injuries like Simmons himself, who's been battling a knee injury that kept him out for 2 games. Their defense has been leaking points, allowing an average of 27 points per game, and the team's overall focus is shifting toward building for the future. With a cap space of around $18 million, they've signaled that they're open to trading assets that can bring back draft picks to help restock their roster. And Simmons, a star who's been a force on the interior, is exactly the kind of player that teams covet at the deadline. Simmons, who turns 30 next year, is still playing at an elite level. In the 2025 season, he's grading out with a PFF score of 92.9, an indicator of his dominance. He's racked up 7 sacks, 54 tackles, 10 tackles for loss, and a 13.5% pressure rate from the interior. His EPA per stop versus the run sits at plus 0.47, making him a nightmare for opposing offenses trying to establish a ground game. Despite his age, Simmons is still in his prime, and he's proven to be a game changer. His ability to generate pressure, combined with his run-stopping prowess, has been essential for the Titans, especially when considering his success rate against double teams, 77%, a testament to his strength and technical skill. Now imagine Simmons in an Atlanta Falcons uniform. The Falcons are already building a solid defense, but adding a player of Simmons' caliber would be a game changer. Their interior line has been a bit banged up recently, with Harrison on IR due to a knee injury and Bowman Jr. also sidelined with shoulder issues. Bringing Simmons into the mix would provide an instant boost, allowing the Falcons to generate more pressure on quarterbacks and shut down the run much more efficiently. This would help elevate their defense from decent to elite, especially in key moments late in games. One of the biggest advantages Simmons would bring is his ability to impact the game in multiple ways. He's not just a run stopper, though he excels at that. He's also a pass rusher who can command double teams, freeing up other defenders to make plays. His presence alone can shift the entire dynamic of the Falcons' front 7, giving Morris more flexibility to dial up blitzes and stunts, knowing Simmons can hold his ground and collapse the pocket. The Falcons, who have been looking for that next level of interior disruption, would see their sack totals climb significantly, possibly adding around 13 more sacks this season with Simmons in the fold. Statistically speaking, Simmons is one of the most disruptive defensive linemen in the league this year. His tackle for loss numbers are impressive, and his success rate against double teams is remarkable at 77%. That means he consistently wins his battles against blockers, freeing up linebackers and edge rushers to make plays. His low yards after contact allowed, only 2.9 yards per run, demonstrates his ability to clamp down on rushing plays before they get any momentum. And his EPA metrics highlight his efficiency, plus 0.35 pressure rating against interior linemen, which is outstanding. From a strategic perspective, acquiring Simmons would also help the Falcons against NFC South rivals like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and New Orleans Saints. For instance, Simmons' ability to generate pressure would help contain the likes of Mike Evans in clutch moments, especially in the red zone. He could be pivotal in neutralizing the Saints' offensive line and their running game, which has been a point of concern for Atlanta this season. Simmons' presence alone can elevate their red zone defense, pushing their stops from 62% up to over 70%, a significant boost that could turn close games into wins. But why would the Titans trade Simmons? Well, the team is prioritizing youth and cap flexibility. They've recently freed up around $22 million in cap space to extend their young quarterback, Will Levis, and are focusing on drafting the next wave of talent, especially along the offensive line, given their struggles with injuries and pass protection. Simmons, scheduled to be a free agent in 2027, is a valuable asset that can bring multiple draft picks back, potentially a high third-round pick or even more, depending on negotiations. The Titans are also looking to rebuild their defense from the ground up, and trading Simmons now might be part of that larger plan. For the Falcons, this move would be about more than just immediate impact. It's about establishing a defensive identity that can carry them deep into the playoffs and beyond. Atlanta has been trending upward this season, with their defense improving under Coach Morris, especially against the run. Their run defense has gone from allowing 4.6 yards per carry to a more respectable 3.9, and adding Simmons would accelerate that trend, making it even tougher for opponents to run the ball effectively. Their turnover numbers are also on the rise, projected to finish with around 20 turnovers, which is a significant factor in winning football. Simmons' ability to create pressure and force turnovers would complement these efforts perfectly. Furthermore, Simmons' impact on the Falcons' interior pressure schemes can't be overstated. He's a perfect fit to boost their hurries per game, a stat that's been somewhat lacking, adding around +1. 7 hurries per game versus gaps. His disruption helps set the tone for the entire defense, forcing quarterbacks into hurried throws and bad decisions. This would help elevate Atlanta's EPA per game on defense by approximately 24%, making them a much more formidable unit overall. Their ability to get after the quarterback, especially in critical moments, would be a nightmare for opposing offenses. Looking ahead, the potential acquisition of Simmons could be the kind of move that elevates Atlanta from a good team to a true contender. They're already competitive, but adding a player of Simmons' caliber would turn them into a nightmare matchup for anyone. His presence alone could be the difference-maker in tight playoff games, just as he's been for the Titans this season. Plus, the Falcons are focusing on building a stout interior defense, which has historically been a cornerstone of championship teams, and Simmons fits that mold perfectly. His ability to dominate the middle of the line and create mismatches would give Atlanta an edge they've been seeking for years. This move could also send a message across the league that the Falcons are serious about taking the next step. It's about setting a tone, showing their fans that they're willing to make bold moves to contend now rather than later. Simmons' proven track record, combined with the Falcons' need for interior disruption, makes this a logical, strategic gamble that could pay huge dividends in the coming years. If Atlanta manages to pull this off, it would be a statement to the entire league that they're ready to compete at the highest level, not just in the NFC South, but across the NFC. Now, of course, this is all hypothetical for now. Negotiations are complex, and many factors could influence whether Simmons ends up wearing the black, red, and white of Atlanta. But the potential is there, and for fans dreaming of a dominant defense that can carry the team deep into January, this is an exciting possibility to keep an eye on. The combination of Simmons' talent, the Falcons' improving roster, and their strategic vision could set the stage for an incredible second half of the season. As we approach the deadline, the question isn't just about whether this trade happens. It's about what it could mean for Atlanta's future. If they do land Simmons, expect the buzz around the NFC South to intensify, and for the Falcons to be seen as serious contenders once again. The road to another Super Bowl might just have gotten a lot more interesting, and Falcons fans, you should be ready for what's coming. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Atlanta Falcons news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential Simmons trade? Do you think it's the move that could finally push Atlanta over the top? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Falcons. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Atlanta Falcons news. The offseason moves, the draft, coming games. There's always something to discuss, and we're here to break it all down for you. Let's keep the passion alive and continue building that Falcons family. Because when it comes to football, especially Falcons football, we're all in this together.